Thank you very much. So, with these lightning talks, you get a chance to hear cutting-edge work, compelling insights into a particular topic, and then have to quickly move on. So, I'm going to come as the villain of the piece, and just as you're starting to get into the topic and see how this is going to be pertinent to you, I'm going to call time. I'll show the speakers a sign saying 2 minutes and then 30 seconds, and then I'll end their time. They get time for one question from the audience, and then we move on. During the question, the next speaker comes up. So it's going to be, as the title says, certainly a lightning set of presentations. The first presentation, I'm really thrilled to be able to introduce Marko Tainio, who's a postdoc in Public Health Modelling Group at the Centre for Diet and Activity Research, CEDA, where he studies the health benefits and the risks of cycling. Marko has a background in environmental health, and he's done his PhD relating to air pollution in Finland. So thank you, Marko.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So my name is Marko Tainio, and I do health impact assessment kind of research, mainly in the cycling, but in this talk I will talk something about the diet too. To start with the background, being physically active and eating fruits and veggies is good for health. Okay? But the question is how good? If I make changes on, if I increase my physical activity, or if I increase eating fruits and veggies, how much better off I would be? And that's the kind of questions in which we give an answers in health impact assessment. In this case, I will show you a result from our study, and for 4 different scenarios. In the title, you see there's mentioned 11 scenarios. I cut it to the 4, because this is lightning. 2 scenarios are so-called physical activity scenarios. So scenario A, so all the car trips now done in England would be replaced cycling. So instead, a person driving a car would be cycling that same distance. And scenario E is that all the car trips less than 8 miles long would be replaced with cycling. Diet scenarios are a bit more simple. Scenario F is everyone would just eat 1 portion of fruit and veggies more every single day, every day of the year, rest of their lives. And 1 portion of fruits and veggies is, for example, about 1 apple, 80 grams. And scenario J is that everyone would eat 5 portions more. So 5 portions of fruits and veggies more every day. We estimated or quantified the health benefits of these scenarios for the population of England. We took account the age of the people in 5 different age groups. So we had from 20 to 69-year-old. Apparently there's a mistake on the slide, happens. Gender, so between males and females, and quite important for this talk, socioeconomical status. So we use this NSSEC, so National Statistics Socioeconomic Classification System, which is occupationally based classification of socioeconomical status. Okay, this one I just briefly show. There were lots of things happening over here. Move on. Results. Here are the mortality results. So first of all, we have on the left scenario A, and now I will check if this one works. Oh, yes. So this one is scenario A. So this is what would happen to the mortality in England for this study population if all the trips less than 1 mile long would be cycled. So it would be reduced mortality about 70 cases per year. While scenario E, where all the car trips less than 8 miles long would be replaced by cycling, would reduce mortality with approximately 7,000 cases a year. And is 7,000 a lot? If we compare it to the baseline, which is about 100,000 deaths on this age group, it's about 7% difference, reduction in mortality. The diet scenario, so F, so if everyone would eat 1 portion of fruits and veggies more per day, would save around 3,000 lives every year, and scenario J about 6,000. So we talk on the rather significant changes in the mortality if people would change their behavior like this. Now, if we look these results into, so we divide between different socioeconomical status groups. So we have the blue one is the higher managerial, administrative, etc. So that's the highest. The red one is the middle, and green one is the lowest, and these are outside. So you can see the trend over here is that for the physical activity scenarios, those ones who are better off to start with benefit most. And those ones who are worst off benefit least. But for the diet scenarios, it's completely other way around. So the benefits would go to those ones on the lower socioeconomical status groups. Now, we also look the costs, so how this would impact the cost of the people. So if the, okay, let's put the transport. So on the average, people spend £66 per week on the transport costs. If these trips would be replaced with cycling, these people would save on the fuel cost, which would mean about 15% reduction on the weekly costs for the scenario E, while on the diet scenarios, it would increase the costs. And also these results we can look on the between different socioeconomical status groups. And for example, one fruit more per day, we don't see a big difference between the socioeconomical status groups, but for the J, we can clearly see that those people who would benefit most from this scenario also would need to pay costs of it, basically buying fruits and veggies. So our conclusions, so increase in fruits and veggies, it would create a large health benefits. It would reduce health inequalities, but it would increase consumer costs for those who necessarily can't afford it. While replacing short car trips with cycling would be, it would reduce the mortality, it would reduce your costs, but it would mainly benefit those ones on the better off. Thank you.
That was a wonderful paper. Time for a question.
Thank you. I wonder about combining these two scenarios. So have you looked into what happens if you replace the car and eat more fruits? And second one, what is if you replace unhealthy food with veggies and fruit and not add basically to your already diet some fruits?
Okay, thank you. Excellent questions, especially the first one, because that's what we did originally. So we combined these scenarios on the cost-wise. So what if you would, the money you save on cycling, you would put to the fruits and you calculated the health benefits with that one. The problem over there was that it was very difficult to describe what's going on in the calculation this way. The second question, yes, we thought on more complicated. So we didn't take account, we just added people eat more fruits and veggies, but in reality it would have some impact what other people are eating. We didn't take those into account because it gets way more complicated and we wanted to keep this somewhat simple. But we definitely would like to do in future things where we take account the full spectrum of what people are eating.